everyone and welcome back to another Batman miniature game 3rd edition battle report. Today for you we have 350 rep of a Joker crew versus 350 rep of a Batman crew. Both crews are a little bit odd in the sense that both have used up their entire funding budget in guns, so there's going to be a lot of blood damage being done by both sides, including the Batman side. So yeah, this is a very aggressive, focused Batman crew, but we can go into the details specific to that as we take a better look at the teams. So there is actually another reason why both crews being played today are a little odd. I forgot to mention that they're both retro teams, but still, Joker's crew, despite having 7 miniatures, is the crew with less bodies on the field. They're going to have one pass when the game starts. So being led by the Heath Ledger Joker with all of his gang, so his bus driver, who's not going to be arriving until turn 2 on the left there, and then we have, that's Grumpy, Chuckles, and I'm going to cheat on the last one. Happy, the one with the grapnel gun, is Happy. And then to fill out the points we have Borgon, the Cursed, and we have Clayface right at the back there. So yeah, a little bit of an odd one, because usually if you run a lot of bodies Joker crew, they're going to have the more bodies. Not that in 3rd edition having a lot of bodies is necessarily a super good thing, because you're only ever going to have 4 Audacity markers. Either way, let's take a look at the Batman crew. And here it is, the Batman crew, 2, 4, 6, 8 miniatures in this crew, and because the focus is on blood damage, which again is a bit abnormal for a Batman crew, the Batman that is being fielded today is the Jean-Paul Valley Azrael, otherwise known as Knightfall Batman. He's being backed up by the old Red Hood, who's still one of my favourite miniatures actually. I really like that one. Arkham Guard with assault rifle, Arkham Guard with shotgun. Their numbers are 2 with the assault rifle, 3 with the shotgun. One of them at the very least is a legacy miniature, the one with the assault rifle, because I guess they didn't want the cops having triple blood machine guns in 3rd edition. Legacy just means if there is ever such a thing as an official Batman tournament, they wouldn't really be usable. In friendly games though, you can use legacy miniatures, it doesn't matter. And then we have Officer Merkel from the Back to Gotham 3rd edition starter set, and then from the Dark Knight Rises starter set, the 3 cops that came in that, which are just called Agent 1, 2 and 3. Agent 1 is the lady with the pistol, which is sadly broken because it's the old resin and it just snaps. Agent 2 has the pepper spray, and Agent 3 is just equipped with a extendable baton. So we are all set up and ready to go. The Joker crew is deployed to your left and the Batman crew is deployed to your right. The Joker crew will be taking first activation unless they decide to use a pass. But we can take a quick look at the lineups. Basically just a line, a literal line for both sides, having so many bodies, 8 inches in from each side again as the opening deployment. Clayface is starting the game in his solid form of the 2 he's allowed to use. And again, Joker's bus driver is not on the field. He will arrive within 4 or just outside of 4 inches of an enemy model in the raise to plan phase of turn 2. So with that, let's get the game started. Chuckles the Clown got the game started, and I did forget to mention, but there is no objective cards being played by either side in phase 1 or phase 2. So Chuckles rather, he moved up 8 inches, more than enough to be clear of the 2 inches outside of deployment to put in a suspect marker, and as you can see, it is not a suspect marker, it is the deadly stinky fish. So it doesn't look fresh. If it's revealed, it will poison the person who reveals it. If it's not revealed, it will score at the end of the round. So that is now in play for the Joker crew. Agent 2 activated next without Audacity for the first Batman crew activation, that is, and he just moved up 8, but with the free manipulate from being so close to Knightfall Batman, he has placed a suspect marker very close to the edge of the table, which is right there, but did nothing else with his turn. Joker's crew opted to use a pass, so it was straight back over to Batman's crew. Agent 3, the one armed with just the baton from the Dark Knight Rises box set, activated and did a similar move to the previous cop. Without Audacity, he just did a move action, and then with the free manipulate from Knightfall Batman, he also put down a suspect marker with more than the 4 inches required from where that one got placed. Grumpy activated without Audacity, which is one of Heath Ledger Joker's henchmen, but he started right next to the man himself, so he had a free manipulate, which he opted to use. He moved up well outside the 2 inches required from the deployment, 8 inches, and put down just a normal suspect marker. Didn't become a stinky fish or anything like that. Getting a little bit bloodthirsty in turn 1, Red Hood decided to activate, and he moves base 12, but he's an acrobat for 13. More than enough to get just within 8 of the henchman there. He obviously lost 2 dice for moving and shooting his dual pistols, but he did. His pistols do blood stun. He got 2 hits through on 3 attack dice, and did 2 blood, 2 stun to, is that Chuckles, that one. Either way, all the Heath Ledger Joker henchmen are all 5/5 in terms of willpower endurance, so he has 3 of each left. Basil Carlo, aka Clayface, activated with Audacity. He moved up so he was on the far side of that Audacity marker that was placed in the previous turn, and he is doing a reveal action on it for his tactical / manipulate, so it disappears and is instead becoming some loot that is going to be on his card, because valuable commodities is being played very early. Reveal one of your own suspect markers, replace it with a loot marker, etc. It's on him. If he goes down, he'll drop it, although it can't, not that there's anyone on the opposite side in the Batman crew that can do this, but Clayface is actually immune to steal, so if you did have someone with steal, he wouldn't be able to steal it from him. But if he goes down, someone can move over it to pick it back up. This is in play now till the end of the game, so if it's held by Clayface or another one of Joker's crew, at the end of the game, this will score, but it's definitely here for the long term. Fan favourite Officer Merkel activated with Audacity. He moved up so that he was well within range to then fire his riot shotgun, which only does stun damage. Downfield there at Joker's henchman, 1 hit got through for 2 stun of, as previously discussed, the 5 willpower that he has. Happy activated next, not to be confused with Tony Stark's bodyguard. He had Audacity, he used his grapple gun to launch himself up this building, more than enough distance, he had 14 inches to play with, to then move to the edge of the building here, giving him an overlook of all the cops in the street down there, and he placed down a suspect marker. There is a sewer grating on that one building though, so it is possible for people without grapples to get up there. Knightfall Batman activated, he had Audacity, he moved up here and then he used his hand flamer down the street there at the Joker henchman and also Clayface, and it's expansive, so you just put down the template and then roll the strength die or a normal die depending on whether or not you moved to, or sorry, if they have dodge rather, to see if you can hurt them, and he did get through the roll on both of them for 1 blood each. However, Clayface's clay body roll says that any ranged attack is converted to stun damage, and then also he's huge, so he ignores 2 stun damage from every attack done to him. So presumably that means he took no damage. The only exceptions to the clay body rule regarding ranged attacks, it specifies cold attacks because that's where he's weak to, and something else, but it doesn't say expansive or explosive, so presumably they count as ranged attacks, and that was done correctly, but it is a little nebulous. Joker activated with Audacity, so he did a movement action to put him where you can see. He did a special action in the form of goad on poor Officer Merkel, who fell for a hook, line and sinker, so he was pulled 4 inches in any direction he wants, as long as you don't cause them to fall, which put him in the danger zone for next turn. Joker then, because he had nothing better to do, decided to fire his automatic pistol. As you can see, Merkel did not do so great there, and even though he moved and fired, he was still rolling 3 dice. All of them got through for 3 blood, 3 stun. Merkel is a 5/5 miniature as well, and of course he cannot escape the curse that he is doomed to die every appearance he has here. So the Arkham Guard with the assault rifle was the last model with Audacity to activate for the Batman crew. He moved up, so he was losing 2 dice. He has 3 plus the strength die, so he's essentially just rolling 2 dice. And he shot downfield at Grumpy. He got 1 hit through. It's a 3 blood assault rifle, so it did 3 blood. And Grumpy, he's got a reason to be angry because he is dead, so he's being removed. And it feels weird that this is the first card being scored by Batman crew, but dirty job, making him a model KO or a casualty. He just straight up killed him. Borgon the Cursed was the last activate for Joker's crew this turn without Audacity, so all he did was a move action. But forgot to mention also when the henchman who was there died, he and all the other Heath Ledger henchmen have the expendable rule. In 2nd edition that meant that they didn't score victory points for the purposes of like removing miniatures. In 3rd edition expendable is different. The definition just says you can draw an objective card when they die if you want the controller of the model that dies. Presumably is what it means. And also presumably that means you would then discard a card since you can't have more than 4 in your hand, but it doesn't specify. Either way, I believe there is 2 cops left, or at least 1 for sure, the lady with the pistol, for the Batman crew to see us off the end of Battle Round 1. So we can quickly cover both those set actions. It was the agent with the pistol, and then the Arkham Guard with the riot shotgun that's the same as the one Merkel has. They didn't have Audacity, and they just moved up because they couldn't place down suspect markers either. They were too close to existing ones, and that does take us to the end of Battle Round 1, so we'll see if any Phase 4 cards score, and then go over what's happening. So then Battle Round 1, Officer Merkel and the Joker henchman that didn't die are both healing 1 stun, and everyone else is fine, obviously not the henchman that died, and the Stinky Fish will be scoring to put Joker's crew on the board for 2 points. The loot is safely with Clayface, but that doesn't score until the end of the game. So we'll jump into Phase 1, Phase 2 for Battle Round 2 next, and we'll also have to cover where Joker's bus driver decides to show up. So here we are at the top of Turn 2. There is no cards being placed in Phase 1 or Phase 2, or sorry, there's no objective cards being placed in Phase 1 or Phase 2. Joker's bus driver, though, has popped up right behind him and Clayface. He has to be at least 4 inches away from Merkel, which, well, or enemy, no, specifically just Merkel. Makes it kind of appear like he was hiding in Clayface and just kind of popped out. So he's there. You can see these three have Audacity, and around here Borgin the Cursed also has Audacity. Red Hood has Audacity for the Batman crew, as does the Riot Shotgun Arkham Guard, Batman himself, the baton-wielding agent, and I think that's it. Pretty much accepting that because Joker's crew is getting first activation, Merkel is not long for this world. So Grumpy got Battle Round 2 started. Forgot to mention, but Clayface is staying in his solid form as well. And he's done a Disappearing Act, but first of all, from where he started, he did a tactical action to shoot his automatic guns as I accidentally knock over Clayface. I apologise, Clayface, please don't hurt me. 3 hits through on Merkel, much more than is required. Merkel is dead. Didn't score any cards off him dying, but have obviously removed a threat. He then did a move action, and thanks to being close to Joker with his extra manipulate, he manipulated, and knocked over a dumpster as well, he manipulated the sewer marker there, and has teleported all the way out the back here, maybe causing some people to rethink their actions. So Arkham Guard 2 with his assault rifle got the second turn off the bat for the Batman crew. He stayed where he was, he didn't have Audacity, he just shot his assault rifle. That's all his ammo gone, because he only has two loads of ammo, that is. He pelted Borgin the Cursed with bullets. He got 3 hits through for 9 blood, but amazingly Borgin lived because he has 10 HP. So he is alive, barely. Joker's bus driver activated next, and he has moved up and using a free manipulate from starting right next to the Joker. He has placed a suspect marker rather than shooting his double stun single blood shotgun so that he could score a let them in on the joke. One model with the trickster trait, which Joker gives to all his henchmen, automatically via Chaos Agent. Within 4 of an enemy model, he's within 4 of multiple. Also, after scoring this, both players discard a card from their hand at random. So we're sticking over here because the agent that was on the corner there with Audacity activated. He had a free manipulate from being so close to Batman, so he moved on top of the suspect marker, more or less. He revealed it, and in doing so has scored Comb Through Everything, reveal an enemy suspect marker. Additionally, when you score this objective, you can draw 1 additional card, but then you have to discard 1 of them. So that is 2 on the board. He then swung his baton at the bus driver. The bus driver did not use any efforts, neither did he, and no hits got through. It was a terrible roll. Sorry, before we move on, a counter card is being played, or an objective rather, by the Joker's crew. So long as been a gas, when an enemy model reveals one of your suspect markers, which he just did, the opponent must choose one of their models and you place a suspect marker in contact with them. And then the second half of the card is if you do a reveal by choice, which didn't happen. So he got selected, and as a result there is now an enemy suspect marker in base to base with him, as well as that friendly one. Borgin the Cursed activated with Audacity. He moved into base to base with the Arkham Guard with the assault rifle, who, despite having no ammo, is a softer target than the Red Hood. The Arkham Guard exerted all 3 effort to remove dice. Borgin still got 2 hits through with his double blood traffic sign, whatever it is, for 4 blood to the Arkham Guard, who is alive now on 1 HP. Jean-Paul Valley activated with Audacity. He charged into Clayface in close combat. He used Unstoppable for a special action, so all his attacks require 2 blocks to block 1. And he normally does blood stun with or just 1 block, I think, because he doesn't have reinforced gloves. He has claws though, which is blood stun. However, again, Clayface has that rule where all blood damage is converted to stun damage instead. So he was hitting him at stun damage. He used 2 efforts, that's why he has the 2 stun damage there. I just realised I didn't put the damage next to Clayface. I put it on his card. But all said and done, also because of OCD, because he's putting all his attacks into the one character, he gets +1 to his attack rolls. Clayface could defend against the strength die like a normal die because of his clay body, or one of his rolls. Either way, he took 6 willpower damage, meaning he is on 1 left. He has 7 willpower, and it was a crit on the strength die, and I couldn't see anything in his rules that said he was immune to being knocked down, so he is knocked down, with 1 willpower left. He hasn't had a turn yet, so he could still try and get away. But I think that was done correctly with his clay body converting the blood damage into stun. Oh, sorry, and it technically was 8 damage, but 2 of it was absorbed by him being huge, which takes away 2 stun from the attack. One last addition. For knocking down Clayface, he also has scored I'm Feeling Weird for inflicting an effect on the enemy. Knocked down is in the effect part of the compendium, so it counts for 2 victory points. So Clayface did activate next with Audacity, and he didn't have many options after standing up about where to go or what to do, because Batman isn't going to go down to a blood stun weapon in one attack. So he fled to the sewer marker, he manipulated it, and has appeared up on the building with the yet to activate grapple gun henchman up here, because if he gets knocked down by like Red Hood or whatever, it's potentially possible that he'll grab the loot from Clayface. Red Hood activated and ignored Borgin to use his back claw to give him enough movement to scarper up here after Clayface. He attacked Clayface with his dual handguns in hand-to-hand combat, which means they do double stun. 4 stun got through, 2 of it comes off for Clayface being huge, so 2 stun all said and done. That is enough to knock Clayface out, and unlike in 2nd edition where I'm pretty sure you had to have 1 special die to use Takedown, in 3rd edition Takedown is just you use 1 effort, so he did, to instantly make someone in base to base you've knocked out a casualty. So Red Hood just pointed his gun at whatever passes for Clayface's brain, pulled the trigger and created quite the mess up here. So Clayface unfortunately is dead, and he's going to drop the loot, I guess, just somewhere up there. Red Hood can't move to pick it up this turn regardless, and also in doing so has scored They Won't See Me Coming for inflicting damage on an enemy that didn't have line of sight when he started his activation. Clayface couldn't see him from up there. It has scored, Clayface is dead, and Red Hood is a murderer. Joker activated and has moved from where he was, but he was roughly there. He shot his Joker's automatic gun at the baton wielding cop there, got 2 hits through for 2 blood, 2 stun. He's at full health though, he's a 5-5 as well, so he's down to 3 and 3 remaining. Joker then moved back here into base to base with his sewer marker, and then for his special action used, what is it called? Henchman Bomb. So you target a henchman and center an explosive template on him. It's a strength 2+, and anyone affected by it takes 3 blood, and then the henchman also dies, obviously. So he blew up Borgin the Cursed, who has 1 health left anyway. Borgin had a bomb in him, that's why he's so large. He pops. Arkham Guard took 3 blood, which is also more than enough to kill him. Didn't score any cards off of that, but did make Borgin do one last good thing. So this agent down here is not moving much. He activated without Audacity. He's doing a reveal remove rather, to get rid of that enemy suspect marker in order to score another comb through everything, which we've already seen. However, once again, that is also being counterplayed by a so long it's been a gas, so equal points measured on both sides, and a suspect marker has to be put down again, and it is being put down rather at the exact same person, so nothing has changed really because they both scored back 2 victory points. So Joker's crew is doing well in the victory points, but not so much for bodies on the ground. The last person to activate was the guy with the grapple gun. He didn't have Audacity, so he just moved over the loot, which means he automatically picks it up, so he's now holding it. Whether or not he gets away from Red Hood, well, actually, if he gets an activation first, he totally can, because his grapple gun is ready next turn, whereas Red Hood's is not. But that's Joker's turn 2 done. It is over to the agent with the pistol and the Arkham Guard with the riot shotgun to end off the turn fully. So we can cover both those activations. The riot shotgun cop stood where he was, shot his riot gun, only got 1 hit through for 2 stun. It was a bad roll. He then did a movement action to come further down the street, so he's out of the 8 inches of letting him get a full rate of fire if he wants to shoot him next turn, if they get first activation. And the cop without Audacity, the agent with the little pistol, she was within 8 of Batman, so she had a free manipulate, which she used. She moved over here. She put down a suspect marker, and it has become a snitch. 1 finally got drawn from the deck. The Batman crew has not been having good luck with the cards they started the game with. It is outside of 4 of Joker's bus driver. It's the end of the turn, so this is just an automatic score, but we can go over that proper in the cleanup phase. So as it turns out, there are no phase 4 cards being played by either side at the end of our round 2. So the snitch does score, it's gone now. And with that, we're just ready to jump straight into Battle Round 3, so we'll be back in a second and show you who has Audacity and whether or not there's any Phase 1 or Phase 2 cards. So top of Battle Round 3, everyone who did have stun damage has healed 1. And as far as Audacity goes, there's only 4 miniatures left for the Joker's crew on the table, so all of them have it. And can hopefully, if we quickly pan here, show you who the Batman crew does. This Arkham Guard does, Batman himself, the baton-wielding agent, and then Red Hood up there. There's one card being played as a Phase 1 card, when the Take the Lead happened, for Joker again. He's been getting very lucky with those. Die Hard for Joker. Unfortunately, he can't pick himself, because it's not the boss, and doesn't look good for him up there, although Joker's crew is getting first turn. So it's being played on him back. Sorry, no, it is being played on him. What am I talking about? Because they're getting first turn, it's being played on him, because he's wounded. It was going to be him, but because they're getting first activation and this is a Take the Lead card, it's him. So yeah, the henchman with 2 targets on his head now, one for being marked by Die Hard and one for holding on to the loot. He activated, his grapple gun is ready as previously discussed, so he just shot away. He is over there, he is trying to get to safety where no one can see him with a loaded gun. He is out of range of that light just, so he's not let up, and at the very least I think he's guaranteed that Die Hard is going to score. In the final turn of the game, Red Hood might be able to go shoot him though to stop the loot scoring. Jean-Paul Valley, Batman, activated with Audacity. He moved into base to base with Joker's bus driver to initiate a close combat for blood stun with his claws. Joker's bus driver did use 3 effort, Jean-Paul Valley also used 3 effort, so they've both taken 3 stun from that. All said and done, he got 3 hits through for 3 blood, 3 stun, and then that's the effort. So thanks to the effort, he's actually managed to knock himself unconscious, because he still had 2 health left, I believe. Yeah, 5 and 5. So he has 2 health left, but he is unconscious, won't be getting a turn's activation, and oops, throwing the cards away down the table. They Must Know Pain has scored for Jean-Paul doing that because he inflicted at least 6 damage of any type. 3 blood, 3 stun. Grumpy activated, who was next, that sewer grating. He moved further down here, he placed his suspect marker, which did become some Bite the Dust explosive teeth, so at the end of every activation after his, they move d6? Yeah, 1d6 towards the person who activated. When the timer hits 0, it explodes. If it does any damage to anyone, even people in the same crew, it scores, so it's in play. And unfortunately, as you can see, a 6 was rolled. However, Let Them In on the Joke is also being played as a resource for 1 resource point to reduce that counter down to 4, because Joker's crew is short on people, so good chance of it heading towards someone that will at least do some damage to. So the Red Hood activated, and he decided to hop down the building. He's an acrobat. He has 14 inches of movement, so more than covered the just 7.5 inches tall this building is, which also still gave him enough to get into base to base with Joker. He exerted 3 effort, Joker didn't because he's doing double stun damage. He did 8 through, which is exactly enough to knock Joker out and mean, as it goes out of focus a little bit, and means he is not getting a activation this turn. It also means that Jason Todd's unique card, which presumably he's allowed to use because that is Jason Todd and it says Jason Todd on his card, Seeking Revenge, scores. Inflict at least 3 hits with a weapon that inflicts stun damage against an enemy model with the highest reputation, or if there is an enemy model with the alias Joker in the game, he must be the target. Presumably this is okay to play. It says Jason Todd on his card. This is specifically to Jason Todd, not Jason Todd New 52 or whatever version this is. Rebirth, I think. Although there's no way to play it as a resource, though, because this Jason Todd does not have a one-shot gun ability. Anyway, I also don't think he's allowed to do takedown because he fully efforted and you can only use 3 effort in an activation. So presumably he can't do a 4th one to insta-kill Joker as much as he would want to, so we are counting Joker as being knocked out, but I'm not 100% sure on that particular part. So with Jason beating Joker into a bloody pulp on the floor for the turn, that does mean that there is no one left in Joker's crew to get an activation, because he's activated and the bus driver is also knocked out. So, I'm sorry, the grapple hook guy obviously ran off to safety over there. Forgot to also cover where the teeth moved. It moved 4 inches towards Jason. It's got 3 activations left. So it's all just the Batman crew now. He's got to activate, he's got to activate, she's got to activate, and he's got to activate. So we'll see how many of them we can cover and be back in a moment. So the baton-wielding cop arrested Joker's bus driver and then just moved down the street there. The teeth have followed 3 inches, and that did score another dirty job for the potentially dirty cop for arresting a model which counts as a casualty. So the agent with the pistol had a free audacity from Batman. She moved ever so slightly down the street to move away from the teeth, put down a suspect marker. It has become another snitch as my phone starts ringing, which is an automatic score, and then the teeth moved 4 towards her. So the cop with the pepper spray, again, he's done nothing. He's just activated and did literally nothing. He doesn't even want to do the reveal because it's not going to score anything. Unfortunately for him, the teeth moved towards him 6, so he is being hit for 1 blood, I believe it was. Yeah, he's got 1 blood, and this scores for Joker. And the last one to go, the riot gun wielding Arkham Guard. He shot his shotgun, last of his ammo, into the henchman here, got 2 hits through for a total of 4 stun, enough to knock him out. He then moved next to him and did a special action to arrest. So he is gone. There's 2 henchmen, well sorry, there's 1 henchman and Joker himself left on the table, and that is the end of Battle Round 3. So at the end of Battle Round 3 there's no additional Phase 4 cards being played, but the Snitch did score for Batman's crew from being left alone right there, and the Die Hard did score for Joker's crew because the grapple gun henchman, no one's touching him. That might even be true for the last turn. So we're going to go into Phase 1, Phase 2, the final battle round. Already done Joker's wake up check and he failed it on a 10. So he is not getting a turn, which is real bad. So here we are at the top of the final battle round. It's going to be a quick one because of very few miniatures left on the table for one side. Everyone who is awake and conscious and whatnot has audacity. But serendipitously, Joker has drawn the perfect card to protect himself, so Let's Dance is being played in Phase 1. Oh, also it is Joker's crew getting first turn again. They got it every turn. A friendly model with the leader psychic of free agent rank suffers damage. So that means if anyone goes to smack his unconscious body, this scores. Now if he's instantly removed as a casualty, presumably that wouldn't score because it does no damage? It's an odd one. And Die Hard is being played by the Batman crew on Red Hood, so if he's alive at the end of the game, which is very likely, that will score. And remember, the loot is still in play for Joker's crew as well, and they have only 1 activation to do, so let's get out of the way. So the henchman up there just moved into the corner. He put down a suspect marker, except it's not a suspect marker. It is a Stinky Fish, which is another serendipitous card. It doesn't look fresh, it's in play, it's very unlikely it won't be. And now it's just whatever anyone wants to do to try and score points for the Batman crew. So the agent with the baton walked over to the unconscious Joker and arrested him. And again, it technically doesn't do damage, it's just removing him and counting as a casualty. So presumably, Let's Dance does not score and is just discarded. So with only 1 exception, I think we're going to call that the end of the game, because no one can reach the henchman or the Stinky Fish. Best bet would have been the Batclaw from Jean-Paul Valley, but he's only got 14 inches, and when you account for the vertical movement, that is not enough to get anywhere close. He could technically flamethrower the henchman, but he's at full health, so 1 blood is irrelevant. So the only thing actually being done is that Red Hood is putting down a suspect marker, and it's being the final snitch. That's it. And that does mean it's going to instantly score. Die Hard is going to score, but for Joker's crew it does mean that that henchman, last man standing on the table for the crew, so he's also the de facto boss, has secured 5 victory points, because he ended the game with the loot that Clayface originally had, and he put down the Stinky Fish. So they scored, and with that let's go to the final ruling to see who's won. So it did start off very rough for the Batman crew, but I think they've probably taken this with the subsequent turns. But let's make this official and count up their score. So 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So Joker's crew's got to beat 24. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, nowhere close. So that does also mean if that Jason Todd card wasn't supposed to score, it doesn't matter because they won by much more than that 1 card was worth. Very bloody. A Batman crew that relies on blood damage is pretty scary, although Jean-Paul Valley, the hand flamethrower being single blood, kind of bad. He kind of needs updated, I think. He's a relic for previous editions of the game where he was a bit more threatening, although even though he's doing blood stun, the OCD giving him +1 to attack rolls, he's not bad in close combat. He's 2+ strength die. He's only base strength 4, but still with efforts, he did some damage. And yeah, it was an interesting one. Obviously there is a reason why Arkham Guard 2 is a legacy model at the very least. I don't know if 3 is, but 2 definitely is, which is the triple blood assault rifle that fires, well, 3 plus the strength die. So it's possible, if you get the right moment, to do way too much damage in 1 turn, as you saw with Borgin where he took 9 damage. Although he did live, and then Joker used him in a fun way. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that one. Trying to incorporate DC miniature game runs every so often might be that next as opposed to Batman. Still waiting on the new Red Robin and the new Catwoman. Very excited to look at those once they arrive, fingers crossed soon. And also very interested in, of course, the March releases that will be released towards the end of the month, obviously, and into April, most likely, but things to look forward to. Please do show your support if you want to see more in the future, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta for now.